This is a Sterling Europa 540, just going to take you around the van, show you how it operates. Front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker you have your two gas bottle tie downs. Two gas bottle tie downs are simply there to strap the bottles into, and it's two 6 kilogram propane bottles on the van at any point. That is the maximum you can carry. The pipe work going into the front of the bottle here is a reverse thread fitment, so you need to turn it the opposite way to a bottle lid, for instance, to release it from the front of the fitment here. And on top of the bottle you've got gas open and gas closed. Gas open is gas on and gas closed is gas off. The regulator is built into the bulkhead, as you can see just there. In the front locker you'll find your leg winder and your motor mover engagement bar. Coming down the side of the caravan, you've got your water pump connection, very simple to use. You pull it out the side of the van, as you can see here, or push it into the side of the van. You lock it in place with the cap here. The pickup pipe drops down inside the aqua roll, and it needs to be fully submerged in the water before you turn the water pump on. Down the side of the van, you've got your wind down legs on either side at the front to stabilise the caravan. So that's what these are just here. You would never lift the caravan with these legs; they are only there for stabilising. If you lifted the caravan with these legs, it could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. You've then got your heating and hot water flue on the side of the caravan. You need to remove this prior to igniting anything inside the caravan or running your heating or hot water systems. So that is the flue like you have on the side of your house, essentially. You've then got your battery locker, I'll get it open, on the side of the van here, with your mains power lead coming in from the power on site. And then you've got the 100 amp leisure battery, powers the motor mover, and the 12 volt systems on board the caravan. Motor mover and wheel nuts. We'll torque wheel nuts before you leave site so you can see they've been tightened correctly, and we'll also demonstrate the motor mover so you can see that is operating as it should. Down the bottom you've got your grey waste pipes. So you have your two grey pipes that go into the larger diameter holes on them fitments down the bottom there, and they'll drop down inside the waste master. And that is where your wastewater comes out, so once it's been through the clean water system, through the sinks in the shower, it will come back out down the side here. On the side of the van, you've got your, you put your key in here, open it up, and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here, and a cap full of the pink fluid for the toilet flush system. And in the bottom, you've got your toilet waste cassette. You'll pull up the yellow handle at the bottom and pull the cassette towards you. The yellow neck here turns around 90 degrees, so you can tip the waste away. The yellow cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. And on the back of the cassette you've got a yellow pressure relief button, so if you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you.
Thank you.
That's right. On the back of the van, again, you've got your two wind down legs to stabilise the van. Then coming down the side, you've got your two fridge vents. Two fridge vents are very simply there to allow the hot air out the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. And then at the front of the van, on the left hand side, you have your last wind down leg. We go onto the inside of the caravan now and demonstrate how the inside works. So inside the caravan, in the wardrobe area, you'll find the master trip switches for the caravan. If you're not sure if you've got mains power coming to the caravan, hit the test switch here, and the switch will drop down to the bottom if you have mains power coming in. Each of these fuses is individually marked at the bottom, and it will relate to the code that you see on top of the fuse blocks itself. Down the bottom you've got your mains power switch for your space heater. You've got your electric water heating, which you notice I've already turned on as I've already filled the system up. And then the battery charger on the end here has to be on for the 12 volt systems on board the caravan to work. So the electric water heater switch in the middle, like I said, that is your switch to turn on the electric water heating or turn it off. When we go through the water system, we'll show you how to fill it, and then I'll show you the gas operation. But like I said, if you want to warm it on electric, that is the switch there to do that with. Next to the door, as you come into the caravan, you'll notice there's a control panel. When you first go into the caravan, you'll need to hit the tick switch and then select the battery option at the bottom here for the 12 volt systems on board the caravan to come on 12 volt. Once you have done this, we can start filling up the water system. So you can go underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan, and underneath the seat in this cupboard you'll see down towards the front, it's a bit hard to see in this video because how dark it is underneath it, but you'll see the yellow valve. You can just about see it next to that blue pipe on the right hand side or to the middle of the screen. That yellow valve has to be flat with the floor to fill the water system up. If that switch is upright and it's pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all of the water out of the water system onto the floor underneath the van. So once that valve is flat with the floor, you can come over to all the taps on board the caravan, open them all up, on the hot side of the water system. You do the tap in the kitchen, the tap in the bathroom, and the shower tap. You'll then come to the control panel to the left-hand side as you walk in the door, and hit the water pump switch. With this switch turned on, the water pump will start running. Once you have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan, like we have now, you can shut all of the taps back off, and that is the point where you can turn on your electric water heater in the cupboard or warm the water on gas. So to operate the water heater on gas, you have a dial on the far side of the caravan here, just on the side of that cabinet. This dial on the left hand side, you'll spin it up to the flame symbol, so this little tab is pointing at the flame symbol. The green light is your ignite light, essentially, and if it stays ignited, this will stay lit on its own. If it fails to ignite, you'll get a red light appear in here as well, and that red light is essentially there to let you know it has failed to ignite on gas. You can control the water temperature on this dial here between 30 and 70 degrees. The number that is over the green light is the temperature the water heater will warm up to. We do advise, if you're showering on board the caravan, to use the gas as a boost for showering. You can turn the gas supply back off by spinning it back to the off position just here. The dial to the right that you see is your ultra heating. So this is if you're heating on board the caravan, and that'll come out of this heater down here, unless you have it on blown air, which I'll explain in a second. You'll spin this outer dial again to one of the numbers down the side here, 500, 1000 or 2000, and that will depend on what caravan site you're on to what you select this to. If you ask the site officer when they arrive on the holiday, when you arrive on your holiday, if you can select 500, 1000 or 2000, they'll be able to advise you of what power supply you can run. You can control the temperature of the heater on this dial in the centre, and again it will cut in and out with a thermostat, but between 1 and 9 is the temperature of the heater, the 9 obviously being the highest setting. The heater also operates on gas. So just down here on top of the heater itself, you'll have this gas dial. You spin it around between 10 and 9, hold down the gas valve. You need to hold this down and hit the igniter at the same time. Once it's ignited on gas and you've got a pilot light in this window at the front, you'll need to continue to hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the valve. Then you'll check to see if the pilot light is still lit, and then you can adjust the temperature on the dial on top. To turn the gas supply back off, you spin it back to the 0, and that will isolate the gas supply to the heater. On the right hand side top of the heater, you've got the blown air dial here, which is a bit like you've got in your car. So that's your fan speed on top for your blown air settings. The dot in the centre here indicates the heat is going to come out the front of the heater. However, the wave symbol on the left hand side indicates the heat is going to come out these vents around the caravan. But that is continuous blown air. If you want it on automatic blown air, so it cuts in and out with the thermostat, you put it onto the A on the right hand side, and that will allow the thermostat to kick in and out with the heater on board the van. Next up, we've got the fridge. The fridge is very simple to use. You've got the option to run gas, so you spin the dial to the gas option. Press in the temperature control on the right hand side, and once it ignites on gas, this little red line that you can just see in the bottom of the picture here will come into the green. You'll need to continue to hold in the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds again once it has ignited, then slowly release the valve, and then just keep an eye to make sure it has stayed ignited on gas. Coming back to the left hand side, you've got your 240 mains, so when you're on a mains powered site, you can actually set the fridge onto 240 volts. And if you want to run the fridge as a 12 volt cool box as you're travelling down the road, you can set it to the battery mode just here, which will allow the fridge to kick in as a cool box. It is only a cool box, and it will only work if you have the correct connection on the back of your car to operate it. On the right hand side of the fridge, you have your temperature control for when you're on gas or mains power. Spin the dial in the centre here. The bigger the dot is, the colder the fridge will be. Bed at the front of the caravan very simply pulls out from underneath here, so you can set the front bed up, and that is the same with the bed at the rear. You turn the cushions over from either side, turn the cushions over from the inside, and turn them over onto the outside, these hump sections, so they're not underneath your back. It's very much the same with the bed at the back of the caravan, works in the same way, and the fold out bunk folds out from the rear of the van just there. Coming into the bathroom, you've got the toilet flush on top of the toilet. You've got a toilet full indicator light that illuminates when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself turns for your convenience. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the van, the toilet needs to be in the straight on position. grey waste handle below the toilet. When it's open, will allow the waste into the cassette under the van. However, when you're not using the lube, we do advise you put it back in the closed position. And you also need to have it in the closed position when you are not using the, when you're trying to remove the toilet waste cassette from underneath the van. So this is the Sterling Europa 530. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thank you again. Bye bye.